Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Adam Owner 18 The Clutch, and I understand the story is a few days old right now, but you have to understand, just to give you a little update, this past weekend, I was in Daytona just watching the race, just, having a good time, trying to enjoy myself, and based on the photos right here, I was happy to be able to meet a couple drivers, so shout out to Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick, as they're both really good drivers, and I just had an amazing, wonderful experience. It was really cool. I do enjoy racing, like on a personal side. I enjoy, as a kid, NASCAR, and these past few years, Formula One. So it's really enjoyable. I do have my favorite drivers, and from both leagues, and it's just, to me, it's just fascinating. So, but anyway, now that we're back home, it's time to work, and time to give you guys some stories and analysis. So obviously the main story I'm talking about tonight is Giannis once again saying that he is open to leaving if he and the Bucks do not align together in their direction and going for a championship. And when looking at this initially, I was thinking, the Bucks are always going to be championship contenders. They have a good roster, and that team is always going to be a threat at least. But then once I had to look deeper into it and look at their roster, especially also with further context on the personal side of things, when watching AM Hoots' latest videos, shout out to him, by the way, great YouTuber, love watching his videos. But anyway, the Bucks, their main things they did this offseason was re-signing their star players, but they're on a decline in terms of their skills and also their age, as Khris Middleton and Brook Lopez are only a few years away from falling apart, and they haven't really performed to the best of their abilities. They are great players, but not to where they're supposed to be for a true championship. And Drew Holiday he's also getting up there in age, and within that video of AM Hoops, him saying that he plans to retire after his contract is up, it does lead to a lot of concerns for Milwaukee with their future. And it makes me think, okay, I can kind of understand where Giannis is coming from, and the crazy thing about it is that he's not like the rest of the stars in the league that care about trying to make the most money or trying to be in the biggest market, because within the video of AM Hoops, Giannis was talking about how after he got his contract, he wasn't really that happy, and the main thing he was focused on and what did make him happy was spending time with his family and winning. And based on that, I think whatever team he goes to, not only is he going to get Giannis but also his brothers, so he can be happy, and for good reason, which I truly understandably respect and admire that, because it takes a lot of humbleness to be willing to just sacrifice things that typically the rest of the world finds successful or joyful, when in reality you rather look for the bigger and more important things, like spending time with true quality people, in this case his family, and just wanting to be the best you can be. So I truly admire and respect that. And the teams I would think Giannis should go to, if he truly cares about winning, because I'm hearing rumors that he might go to the Knicks, because part of it is because his brother was trying to go to the Knicks. And I understand the Knicks asset-wise make the most sense because they have so many young players and they have so many draft picks. But if the Knicks actually do trade for Giannis and trade, let's say, 4 to 6 first-round picks, trade RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, this is going to be like a Carmelo Anthony 2.0 situation, where Carmelo, in that situation at the time, he was going to go to the Knicks no matter what, whether through a trade or free agency. And both him and the Knicks could have waited literally a few months later, and then Carmelo would have came there basically for free in terms of trading assets. That's what I mean by. But they decided to go anyway. Both sides were pretty desperate to get it done as early as possible, and the Knicks ended up cleaning out their roster for Carmelo, and that's what hurt the Knicks from during the early to mid 2010s from actually making it to the finals, because they didn't really have as much assets and help. So if they do the same thing with Giannis, it's kind of like they didn't learn from their mistake, and they're kind of taking a huge gamble in this case. So I wouldn't go that route. And also the Knicks, yes, they made the second round and they gave Miami a huge fight, but I just don't see it yet. I just don't see the Knicks as like a true threat. They're still trying to recover from all the mistakes they made in the past, whether they're bad signings or bad trades, and now they're trying to like clean up their image. So maybe, I don't know, maybe by the time his contract is up, maybe the Knicks could be real threats by then, and this could all change. But at this very moment, I just don't see it. Teams I do see that Giannis could be both a major star in and can compete year in and year out, I would definitely say Golden State. That's a team that as long as Curry is there, they have a chance to always be someone amazing. And Giannis would complete that roster and extend their championship window by another 3 to 5 years, in my opinion, if Giannis does go there. Another team that I do believe Giannis has a great chance in right now would be Miami, because Miami, they just made the finals with admittingly an under-talented roster, focusing on mainly undrafted players who stepped up when, for example, when Tyler was injured, or Jimmy Butler had an off night, or Bam had an off night, the undrafted players are doing really good. And if things fall apart between the Heat and Damian Lillard, it would make a lot of sense for the Heat to go after Giannis, and he can whether play with Jimmy Butler or end up replacing him as the main guy in Miami. And with Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley running the show still, they can definitely go for and possibly win multiple championships, possibly. And another team that I do believe can make a big difference, I know it's going to be a little bit of a hot take, but possibly Boston. If things don't work out between either mainly Jaylen Brown, if Jaylen Brown does not perform well, if he chokes in the playoffs, I think maybe it'll be time for Boston to go for that trade, to trade for Giannis. Boston had no choice basically but to give Jaylen Brown that contract, because honestly at that time for Boston, they really didn't have a better option. They could have tried to trade for Damian Lillard, but Damian Lillard has clearly said he doesn't want to play for Boston. And there wasn't really any other major superstars out there for them to go for. But if Jaylen Brown and the Celtics do not work out once again this season, if they do not win a championship or things fall apart in the middle of the playoffs, I would not be surprised if Boston is a huge contender in trading for Giannis. Because they'll have the money to match salaries. So under the new CBA, things will be fine. And also, Boston, they will always be a threat. Other than their rebuild from the KG and Paul Pierce trade, other than those 4 years, Boston has always been right there, whether like at the cusp or in the finals. They've always are a team to watch. So I would not be surprised if Boston does go for Giannis, especially trading Jaylen Brown, because they gave Jaylen Brown his money. Both sides seem to be happy, but at the end of the day, it's a business. And if Giannis is available and things do not work out in Boston once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis is going to be a Celtic. So those are the teams I think Giannis could go to, and that are somewhat realistic, especially if he wants to win, if that's his main concern. So let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think of this whole Giannis situation? Is it just smoke and mirrors? Do you believe the Bucks still have a window to go for, or do you really believe he's going to get traded or signed somewhere else? And if so, what team do you guys think, or even prefer? Please let me know down below. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all so much for your continued support. God bless you all, and talk soon.